and welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are so excited to be introducing our brand new set All-Star and its coordinating dies. We're also going to be introducing our new die Giant UR number 1. So let's go ahead and check them out. First, we're going to take a look at the All-Star stamp set, and it has this really great trophy in it and then all this sports stuff. So we have a basketball hoop, then we have a football, a soccer ball, a really great star, a basketball, a baseball bat, and then we have a baseball. So you can stamp this baseball and then add the stitching details with some red ink. So here I'm using some lobster ink, which is the perfect color, and you can just stamp the stitching right inside to create a really cool baseball. There's also a cute smiley face that you could add to any of these different images. This set has a ton of mix and match sentiments. So we have you're an all-star and then all these different people that you can add underneath. So we have mom, dad, daughter, son, friend, and coach. We also have some other great sentiments. So we have a you did it, and then we also have a number 1, which you can use with all of those different people there that are listed. So number 1 mom, number 1 dad. A lot of those phrases fit inside the trophy too, which is so cool. Then we have good luck, have a ball, it's your birthday, and then hope your day is, and then a bunch of other mix and match things. So hope your day is a hit to go with baseball, is a home run also to go with baseball, a slam dunk for basketball. And then we have I'm your biggest fan, which is one of my favorite sayings in the whole set. I get a kick out of you, which is perfect for soccer. And then we have a couldn't swish for a better friend, which is perfect for basketball. So there's so many cute phrases. And then of course we have an exclamation point that you can add to the end of the phrases. Next, I'm going to use Copic markers to add some color to these fun images. And I always like doing this kind of goldeny yellow trophy color because it kind of reminds me of like the cartoon trophies were always this color. So I think it looks so cute. Then for the basketball hoop, I'm going to do that really nice kind of orangey red that's in basketball hoops. And then the back of the hoop is usually kind of translucent. So I'm taking a gray marker and then blending it out with my colorless blender to give it that kind of like shadowy translucent look. I think it turned out really cool. I really like how it looks. Now, for the football, I'm going to use some of these E markers, E18, 17, and 15. And I'm just kind of shading around some edges and then creating lighter towards the center, being really careful around the white areas, and then just using a light gray marker to highlight the different white areas on the football and the soccer ball. And then for my basketball, I'm using some more reddish browns, and then to get even more of that reddish color, I took the RO2 and layered it over top. I always love the E50s for the baseball bat, and then for the baseball, I'm just using a warm gray marker to kind of make it look like a dirty baseball a little bit, and then just blending it out with my colorless blender. These are the coordinating dies, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate. We're going to take those dies and line them up with our stamp images, hold them in place with some low-tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and we'll have perfectly cut out images every time. Here is a look at all of the images from this set. They are so cute and so fun, and there are some really cool things that you can do with them. So when we came up with these images, one, they're just great for different sport things, but we were also thinking about critters, and they're going to work really, really well with different critters. So here we're going to take our basketball hoop and basketball, and this basketball hoop and basketball are a perfect match for our really high five critters. So how cool is this? They look like they're going up for the block and then going up to make the basket, right? It's so cute and so fun. And so these were sized to perfectly work together, and I love this look so much, and we're going to be doing that in a card towards the end of the video. And you can imagine how hope your day is a slam dunk or couldn't swish for a better friend would be perfect with that. Now for our soccer ball, you can use our scootin by critters, and they look like they're kicking and running after the ball. So this is so cute, and these are just 2 examples of how this could work. You could shop your critter stash and have them work with all of these different sports equipment. I think it's so cute and so much fun. And then here we have our giant You Are Number 1. This is such a fun sentiment, not only for sports stuff, but honestly for any kind of thank you type card. I think it's so cute. So first up, we're going to be recreating a card by Elise. And this here we have some paper bag cardstock, and we're going to die cut that with the largest of the outside in stitched rectangles. We're going to be creating our own custom pattern paper using all of the equipment from this set. So we're going to be using some jellyfish ink, and I thought this was such a cool way to get kind of a fun tone-on-tone look. This ink was originally meant to do some no-line coloring. You can stamp with it, it's very faint, and you can get some cool no-line coloring with it, but it also made this really great tone-on-tone look on this paper bag cardstock. So now it's time to work on this pattern, and what's going to make this pattern look really cool is making it random and also making sure that the images go off the edge of the paper. That'll make it look like this kind of continuous pattern that we die cut from, right? But we're creating it ourselves. Now this is Rebecca stamping, and she had the best idea. She took a bunch of mini blocks and she put images on both sides of them. That way they're ready to go, and she's able to mix and match super easy. So you can see she'll stamp one and then she'll go and put the block down, pick up another one, and then she can flip it over and use the other side. And that's giving this really awesome pattern. The cool thing is there's no right or wrong way to create the pattern. It's going to look amazing no matter what. Now the jellyfish ink is stamping fairly dark right now, but the paper bag cardstock, I don't, if you've ever felt it before, it's very porous, so the ink is going to fade into the cardstock a bit. I can't wait to try the jellyfish ink on some other cardstocks to see what kind of cool looks you can get with it, but it looks really amazing. So we're just going to keep stamping all of these images, once again making sure we're going off the edge of the paper, and this is just looking awesome. And then now she's going to fill in all of the stitches there on our baseballs, and now we have this great pattern. Now here we have a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25, and we're going to layer that outside in stitch rectangle, which is going to give us that beautiful 1/8 inch border that really makes that pattern pop. Now here is that all-star stamp set, and so we're going to take some of the images from that set and we're going to layer them all onto this card. We're also going to take out the Upon a Star stamp set just for a smaller star. A lot of our sets have stars, so you can kind of shop your stash and find a smaller star. And then we're also going to use the number 1 dad and stamp that into the trophy. And I love that a lot of these number 1, like dad and mom, fit on the trophy too, which looks really cute. I also think stamping the star on the trophy would be really adorable as well. Now we're going to add some foam square on the back of these images and layer them onto the card. And this card design is by Elise. So thank you so much, Elise. I just think it's so cute. I love the idea of creating the pattern in the background, and now we're going to layer all of the different sports equipment around the trophy, and it's such a fun look. And then to help kind of fill in the area above, we're going to add a bunch of the stars, both the large stars from the All-Star set, but also some small stars from the Awesome Upon a Star stamp set. Now for the rest of the sentiment, we're going to be doing some heat embossing. So we're going to take our anti-static powder tool and put it all over the black cardstock. We're going to use some clear embossing ink, and we're going to stamp out "You Are an All-Star." And we'll sprinkle on some white heat embossing powder. We're going to heat that up with our heat tool and have a nice bright white shiny sentiment on the black cardstock. Then we're going to take our paper trimmer out and just trim that down right around the sentiment. So it's going to kind of look like one of those little Dymo labels, right, that have the white printing on the black label. And then to get kind of a perfect cut on the sides, just going to use a large pair of scissors. We'll add some foam squares to the back of that and then layer it under our little sports equipment scene. Now, this is a really fun way to use this set. So it has "You're an all-star," and then you could say dad, mom, coach, friend, etc. Well, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our Henry's ABCs letters and we're going to die cut that from some gold metallic cardstock. And then we're going to layer that underneath. And I love the mix of a stamp sentiment with a die cut sentiment. I always think it looks so cool. And then the gold letters look so pretty and just add the extra sparkle this card needs. Next up, Shari is going to show us how to create a really cute card incorporating critters with the All-Star set. So take it away, Shari.
So the card I'm working on today is a remake of a card that Rebecca created. I'm using All-Star along with the critters from Really High Five. I've already colored and cut them out with coordinating dies. And I'm going to be using the striped gray paper from the Flower Market collection, as well as this bright blue cardstock in the Textured Cardstock Blues paper pack. So I'm using my Slimline dies to cut these out. This is the largest of the stitched Slimline rectangles, so it will cut a panel that's 3.5 by 8.5, which will cover the entire card base. And then I'll cut the next size down out of that blue. I'm going to be using the new star stencils, lots of stars background stencils to create my background. I'm just going to use one of them instead of creating a full background of stars, and I'm using the Forget Me Not ink to create a tone-on-tone star look for the background. And I'm just being very careful to not go past the edge of my stencil with my ink so that I don't get a harsh line. And then I'll take my stencil and shift it down so I can cover more of this long slimline panel. The very bottom of this is going to be covered up with a piece of gray cardstock, so I don't need to worry about the bottom too terribly much, but I just wanted to make sure that my stars did not stop short of that piece that will be at the bottom. Now I've cleaned off my stencil. I'm taking that same one and I'm just shifting it around to make my stars in a different position. And some of them will overlap stars I already have, and then some will fill in some blanks. And then I'm adding some fairy dust stencil paste. Now at first these are going to look dark like the inked ones, but once this paste dries, I'm just going to end up with a clear paste with glitter. So again, I'm being careful not to go off the side and just put that paste where my stars are. And this is just going to add a nice subtle glitter to the background. I'll be sure to go and clean my stencil immediately, and you can see once that has dried, I just get kind of a shiny shimmery star on top of my inked stars. It has a really nice layering effect. Now to assemble parts of my card, I'm taking that pattern paper that I cut with that largest slimline stitch rectangle, and I'm just going to adhere that to my card base. And then before I add my blue piece, I'm going to assemble some parts to it. So I have the giant UR #1. I've cut that from some barn red cardstock as well as some white cardstock, and I'm just going to layer these together with a little bit of an offset so that I get a little bit of a white shadow behind it. This is going to be the main sentiment on the front of the card, and it's going to go up here towards the top. So now I'm pulling out my pieces and I'm just going to lay them out sort of where I want them, and I'm doing this so I can figure out how high I need to cut that gray piece at the bottom. So I'm just going to mark it with my pencil, and I cut this with that same stitched rectangle that the blue piece is cut with, and I'll just trim it down to the right height. Now I am changing up my sentiment on this one a little bit from Rebecca's. I thought it would be fun to use another sentiment that goes really well with the basketball theme of this card. So I'm using this sentiment that says, "Hope your day is a slam dunk," which I just think is really fun because these critters are jumping up and dunking the basketball. So I'm just adding that to the bottom with some liquid glue. You can see why I didn't need to worry about my glitter paste going all the way to the bottom. And then I can add this whole panel to my pattern paper panel. And I get that nice border around all four sides with that gray stripe. Now I'm going to adhere my sentiment. I'm using liquid glue for this because it is going to be over some of that glitter paste, so I want to make sure it's stuck down really well. And I'm leaving a little space at the top so that I can add a little critter character at the top up there. So I'll be adding that little mouse that's jumping from Really High Five. And I am going to set a block on this and let it dry just a little bit. That'll hold it down while it dries to that paste. I will be adding some foam squares to all my images so that they're popped up off the card a little bit. So I have that basketball goal that I'm going to center up, that basketball like they're shooting it into the hoop. And then of course I have all these critters from Really High Five, which they work really well with this basketball theme because they look like they're jumping and shooting the ball. So I've got that cute little fox and that cute bear. And I like that they're kind of overlapping off the side of my blue panel, kind of adds some motion to this card a little bit. And then for my little mouse, I wasn't sure if I wanted to move him, but I decided I liked him up at the top. So he's jumping up there. He's probably a spectator. He's really excited. I feel like he needs some pom-poms. And then this really fun star is also from the All-Star stamp set. I like the size of this. I like that it's nice and big. And I just cut out 3 of these to kind of sprinkle around and add a little bit more to my card. And I was going to put this one on the side, but I decided there was a little bit of a dead space right under my bear, so I'm going to put this star under him. And then here is that finished card inspired by the card that Rebecca made, and I just think it is so much fun.
Thank you so much for this cute card, Shari. I just love the idea of our favorite critters playing sports using all of the equipment in the All-Star set. And next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team, and I love this one by Audrey. It's so cool, and I love how she has the stitch trails going for all of the different sports equipment. Grace really knocked it out of the park with this amazing teacher card. I love the scenes that she created and how all of those cute foxes are playing basketball. I love how Kara created a cute birthday card combining our new Giant Hooray with the All-Star sports equipment. Here, I love how Tammy brought in our very favorite mice and has them playing with the All-Star sports equipment. The little one kissing the trophy is my favorite. It's so cute and sweet. This is the card by Elise that inspired us to make ours today. I just love that custom pattern so much. Here I love how Letitia used the You Are Number One without the sports equipment. She used it with our new Lots of Stars stencil, and I think it's just gorgeous. This is the card by Rebecca that inspired Shari to make hers, and so you can see we incorporated a tiny sports friend and a different sentiment, so there's lots of ways to mix and match. Here, Tammy combined more critters and the brand new Simply Celebrate critters with All-Star to create a really cool football scene. And if you want to see this card made, make sure to check out our Intro to Tiny Sports Friends video for sure. We'll link it in the description below. I love how Mindy used the trophy from All-Star over the You and You Are Number One. It looks so cool on this card. And then this card by Lynette is so fun. It features the giant You Are Number One and then with the tiny sports friends and the brand new stadium seating. So we cannot wait to see what you guys create with these new sets, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!